done and not accepting the delay of 5 years at that stage, we wouldn't have been here today. So, Sifiso, thank you for your commitment. I think your brother would have been proud of you that you decided not to lie down, but to say you are going ahead and going to get all the help you need to make sure that justice is done. Secondly, I also want to say thank you to the investigating team at SAPS. Persons' names that weren't mentioned today, but specifically Colonel Ganinda and his investigation team. Since they took the investigation a few months ago, there was a lot of progress, and I think we have to give praise where praise is deserved. And what we're also happy about, many times you get police investigators that don't want to speak or work together with anybody else. And from day one, there was a commitment by this investigation team to work with Advocate Gerrie Nel and his team. There was a commitment to share evidence, to speak with regard to strategies and so forth. So we really want to say thank you. It's good to know in a place where there's sometimes people feel angry because we don't see justice being done. It's good to know that there are a number of policemen and women that do their job and do it well. And I think in this case we have to thank the investigation team. And then also the National Commissioner of Police, General Sitole. General Sitole was committed to make sure that there was cooperation between civil society and the police, and also cooperation with Advocate Nel's team and the police. So we also want to thank him for the role that he played. Then, of course, Advocate Gerrie Nel and his team, we know they are committed, they're good investigators, and also the extra mile they went to work with the police in this regard. I also want to thank you. And then, last but not least, I want to thank the members of the media. If everybody just kept quiet after 5 years, after this murder, and the Meyiwa family kept quiet, and the media did not continue to pursue this matter, we would not have been here today. And I think in the time when there's a lot of criticism, sometimes, unfortunately, of the media, I think we say that the media played a huge role to make sure that this issue was continuously kept on the agenda. And I think what today's breakthrough shows is that we can fight crime if there is cooperation between the police and civil society. And that is what I'm very happy about, is that is what happened today. So I want to introduce Advocate Gerrie Nel that will give you further information.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kriel. Let me start off by also thanking Sifiso. If you look at Sifiso, he's a man that's been trying to get to the airport since 8 o'clock this morning. He had quite a difficult day. He arrived in our office about half an hour ago, and we did a briefing, and I think it's safe to say that the briefing shocked him. Because, over years of this investigation, there were various versions given about what happened, who was involved, and people followed certain versions and thought that that was the truth. And we've heard, and I'm not going to repeat what the Minister and General Sitole said this morning, because what they said is quite correct. They said that they've arrested 5 people. What I can say, however, is that we received the full briefing from the investigating team, and the investigating team took us through the evidence. Having gone through the evidence, we have to agree with General Sitole saying, I think the police have a strong case against the 5 people that they've arrested. But the one aspect that the police were silent on early this morning is, was it a robbery? What was it? We've been briefed by the police to say this was not a robbery that went wrong. This was an assassination. So the one outstanding aspect here, and we're disappointed that it hasn't happened yet, is to address the mastermind. Because if there's a hit, there's a mastermind. So we're confident and we agree, having gone through the evidence, that this is a hit. And we've also indicated our full cooperation in exposing the mastermind and ensuring that the mastermind is also prosecuted. So that is how we'll take this further. We've had a consultation with Sifiso sitting here next to us. Obviously, there's been years of absolute trauma. I've read today that it's quite significant that it's on the 26th. But if you go back 6 years, you'll see that's always been developments on the 26th. The police always on the 26th said there's new developments, things will happen. But let me just say that we got involved at the end of 2019. Our contribution initially was to engage the MPA and to indicate to the MPA our dissatisfaction with the way the matter was dealt with. That led the NPA to remove the matter from the Johannesburg Director of Public Prosecution to the Pretoria Director of Public Prosecution. That in itself then created some kind of momentum and a focus, a renewed focus on the facts of the matter. That wasn't all. Also in January this year, we engaged with police management. We've indicated to police management that we were concerned with the composition of the investigating team at that stage. The team was then changed, and we think that soon after that, with the aspect of the new team and under the leadership of Colonel Ganinda, started engaging with us, and we could share information with the team, and things happened fairly quickly after that. So as far as that is concerned, we cannot but compliment the police with arrests. We cannot but compliment Colonel Ganinda and his team, having gone through the evidence in the case docket. But certainly it would become clear if there's a strong case or not once the matter is in court. We haven't had actual sight of the case docket. We haven't read all the statements, but we're confident that on the briefings that we received, that there's a very good case, but also a bit anxious and disappointed that they have not addressed the mastermind behind this assassination, and that must be the most important aspect in this matter. And we will, as far as we can, assist the South African Police Service and other role players to make sure it happens. So, as I indicated, Mr. Kriel, I don't want to repeat everything the General and the Minister said. I think the only new aspects that we can bring out is the aspects that I just mentioned.
Thank you, Advocate. Now it's a privilege to ask Mr. Senzo Meyiwa to also say a few words.
Yes. Greetings to everyone. I'm still in a shock of what I'm hearing since I missed my flight. I have to clear my mind. But I'd like to thank SAPS and AfriForum on behalf of the family with the progress of the case. Although we are grateful of the arrest made, we remain anxious that the mastermind was not arrested. In the view of the established cooperation between our legal team from AfriForum and SAPS, we remain hopeful that more arrests will follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meyiwa. There is now time for questions from the media. You're welcome to go ahead.
Thank you so much, Khalid. Zianda Umogo from Newzroom Afrika. I just have a clarity-seeking question. So the NPM, the police say they have a watertight case, and you've just agreed to that, Advocate, now. But, in terms of the legal process, of course, the NPA hasn't necessarily issued you with the certificate of non-prosecution. So what does it mean in terms of your contribution? Are you going to be prosecuting NPA? Where do we stand with that? Just for clarity, please. And then in terms of the arrests that were made this morning, you know, as AfriForum, just for the record, are you satisfied that the police are on the right track? Have they told you anything about the mastermind and their possible arrest and whether or not that arrest is imminent?
Good questions. You said it's Nyanda.
Ziyanda.
Ziyanda. There's no aspect of a private prosecution. I spoke to the investigating officer, and after he briefed me, I indicated that I would have loved to prosecute this matter because it's a matter that I think it's important to do, and it's a matter that any prosecutor would love to prosecute. So if that answers your question, there's no private prosecution. It is the NPA will prosecute this matter. As far as the mastermind is concerned, we've received the full briefing. We have to be a bit careful in not divulging information that might prejudice the investigation. You asked me if I'm satisfied that the information already obtained by the police indicate to who the mastermind might be. My answer must be yes. I do think that they're on the right track on the briefing I've received, and I hope that that could soon be turned into arrests.